What's going on, everyone? In this video, we're going to be doing the weekly recap of the stocked up trading floor. The market continued to move higher over this past week, but the price action and volatility is definitely heating up, not only as we could see just by looking at the chart of the S&P over the past couple of days, but especially as we look at some of these more high-flying, high-profile tech stocks like Nvidia, Apple, and others. We can just see based off these past couple of days price action that it's definitely heating up. But regardless, looking at this week's recap, there were a handful of plays throughout the week, none of which being swings, but there were two hybrid plays. The first one was with Nvidia that popped up by 272%, so that was a really great setup. There was also an Oxy one earlier in the week that didn't work out, as well as a Meta one, but this Nvidia price action from from Thursday was pretty awesome. We could see that the options were alerted at $282 each, and they popped all the way up to $1,050 each, moving to the upside by 272%, so that was phenomenal. And then we could see on Friday there was a pretty good setup with Costco as well, as the options were alerted at $485 each, and they popped all the way up to 823. So I would say it was a pretty good week, but what it ultimately comes down to is how risk is managed. When you have setups like, let's say, Nvidia that pop up by 272%, or even Costco that pop up by just under 70%, those don't mean anything if the losses are not kept to a reasonable level when the losing trades do come along, because naturally you will have setups that win and you'll have naturally setups that lose. But it's more so important about how these setups are managed rather than what setups are played. Because if you have, let's say, one losing trade and you let that option decay to zero, then you really skew the risk to reward in a way that is not as favorable as it could be. Whereas if you have, let's say, losing trades that will naturally come along, but if you respect stop losses with them and you make sure not to double down as the option falls, if you focus more so on keeping it as small and as reasonable as possible, that's what really helps plays like, let's say, Nvidia on Thursday that popped up by 272%, or even Costco that popped up by 70%. That's what truly helps those plays outweigh the losing ones. So how you trade is more important than what you trade. But regardless, I would say it was a pretty good week. Looking at the theta trades, if you do not already short put options, I very strongly recommend it. Shorting put options, when done correctly, is one of the best strategies out there. Basically, you find a stock that you'd be happy to own, and you make sure that it's currently at least close to a price you'd be happy to own it at. You sell a put option with the intent of that if this put option does get assigned, if you do get assigned shares, that you'd be willing to hold them, and you just basically get paid to buy stocks you'd be happy otherwise holding, and you get paid to write put options on them. But even more so, you can roll the put options out. Once you get shares, you can sell calls against them, and you can do many things to shift the odds in your favor. But regardless, selling put options is one of the best strategies out there. Definitely look into it if you haven't already. But the market's definitely heating up. VIX is slowly on the rise just a little bit, which can mean for some extra volatility in the short term, which is always a good thing for options traders. But besides that, thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your weekend.